This is ShadowQuant, Crypto Edition, brought to you by AresLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Thursday, June 4, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Let's start with the scorecard. Pulse, you were right 42% of the time last session. Your call on Bitcoin bearish was flat, but you're still on track for a major pivot. Grid, you had a 49% accuracy rate. Your Bitcoin target of 62,500 was off by 100 points. CIPHER, your 62,000 target was also a bit off. SPECTER, your 61,000 call was too aggressive, but you did flag the 12-point fear and greed jump. Apex, your 62,000 call was flat, but you called the sentiment shift correctly.
I'll own it, I missed the macro shift. I focused on sentiment, but the market moved on volume and flow. I'm pivoting to flows now.
I'm going back to the chart. The 50-day is at 63,500 and I still see that as key support. I'm not giving up on the technicals.
I'm looking deeper into decentralized finance TVL and whale activity. If the whales are dumping, it's a signal.
I'm sticking to my contrarian view. Fear is extreme and it's a setup, but I'm not calling a reversal yet. I'm watching the 63K level.
I'm adjusting my synthesis. I'll tie in flows and sentiment, but I'm not overriding the technicals.
Let's go into the headlines. First, #1 from Cointelegraph. Iranian crypto outflows spike 700% after U.S.-Israeli airstrikes. #2, U.S. Senate housing bill includes CBDC ban. #3, PayPay, 40% owner of Binance Japan, seeks up to $1.1 billion in Nasdaq IPO. #5, Bitcoin futures demand falls to 2024 lows, are institutions exiting. #9, Monad's BTC bridge may add $5 billion in Bitcoin-backed liquidity. And #10, can U.S. lawmakers pass crypto market structure before the midterms?
These headlines are a mix of macro and tech. The CBDC ban is a regulatory headwind, but the BTC bridge is a catalyst. The Iranian outflows are a regional risk. If this escalates, it'll hit altcoins hard.
The fear and greed index is at 14, up 12 points over 7 days. That's a big shift, but I'm not seeing a panic buy yet, just selling.
Let's start with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is at 63,661, down 1.78% in 24 hours. The 50-day moving average is at 63,500 and it's a key level. If it holds, that's a positive sign, but if it breaks, it could hit 62,000.
The flow data shows that Bitcoin is losing dominance. It's now at 55.85%, down 1.2% from last session. Altcoins are gaining traction, but it's not a strong shift. The 24-hour volume is down 18% from the 5-day average. That's a sign of weak buying interest.
I'm not buying the technicals here. The 50-day is at 63,500, but the VIX isn't spiking. That means the market isn't panicking yet. If Bitcoin breaks below 63,000, that's a major signal. But for now, I'm watching the 63,500 level.
Let's move to Ethereum.
Ethereum is at 1,766.85, down 3.2% in 24 hours. The 1,750 level is a key support. If it holds, that's a bullish sign, but if it drops below, it could hit 1,700.
The sentiment here is mixed. Ethereum is under pressure, but it's not as extreme as Cardano or Near. The fear and greed index is at 14, but I'm not seeing the same panic as in the altcoins.
Decentralized finance TVL is down, but not by much. The 24-hour volume is also lower, but not as drastic as in Bitcoin. Ethereum is still holding up better than the altcoins.
I'm not seeing a strong case for Ethereum to rally. It's in the same boat as Bitcoin, under pressure, but I'm not riding it off yet. The 1,750 level is a key test.
Let's talk about Cardano.
Cardano is down 10.27% to 0.18. That's the biggest loss of the week. The 24-hour volume is down, and the flow data shows that whales are dumping. If this continues, it could hit 0.15.
The sentiment here is extreme. The fear and greed index is at 14, and the panic is spreading to altcoins. Cardano is the hardest hit. It's a sign of broader weakness.
I'm not seeing a bottom here. If Cardano breaks below 0.15, that's a major signal. But I'm not buying the panic yet. I'm watching for a short-term bounce.
Let's move to NEAR.
NEAR is down 22.36% to 2.21. That's a huge drop. The 24-hour volume is down, and the flow data shows that whales are dumping. If it breaks below 2, it could hit 1.8.
This is a classic case of overreaction. NEAR is down 22%, but the macro data isn't that bad. The fear and greed index is at 14, but I'm not seeing a panic yet. If it holds above 2, that's a sign of resilience.
The sentiment is extreme. The panic is spreading to more aggressive altcoins. NEAR is a good example. It's not just a technical drop, it's a psychological one.
Let's go to Avalanche.
Avalanche is down 5.41% to 7.65. The 7.5 level is a key support. If it holds, that's a positive sign, but if it drops below, it could hit 7.3.
The flow data shows that Avalanche is losing volume. The 24-hour volume is down, and the decentralized finance TVL is also down. This is a sign of weakness.
I'm not seeing a strong case for Avalanche to rally. It's under pressure, but it's not as bad as the altcoins. If it holds above 7.5, that's a positive sign.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on Bitcoin. Let's dig into that.
I think grid is over-relying on the 50-day moving average. The 50-day is at 63,500, but the fear and greed index is at 14, and the volume is down. That means the market isn't as strong as the technicals suggest. I think the real story is the flow data. If the whales are dumping, that's a bigger signal than the chart.
I agree that the flow data is important, but the 50-day is still a key level. If Bitcoin holds above 63,500, it's a sign of strength. But if it breaks, it's a sign of weakness. I'm not ignoring the flow data, I'm just looking at it through the technical lens.
I think both of you are on the same page. The 50-day is a key level, and the flow data shows that the whales are dumping. If the 50-day breaks, that's a major signal, but I'm not seeing a full reversal yet.
My 24-hour call. Bitcoin bearish. Target 62,500 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target 62,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target 62,000 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target 61,500 by next session.
My 24-hour call, Bitcoin bearish, target 62,500 by next session.
So what's the takeaway? The crypto market is under pressure, and Bitcoin is testing key levels. The technicals suggest a bearish outlook, but the flows and sentiment are also signaling weakness. The next key level is 63,000. If it breaks, the path of least resistance is lower. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Crypto Edition. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.